Hello everyone, we are now on week 2 of our course. Overall, everyone did well on the first week's assignments. I'm glad to see you using the help form, and it looks like things are generally going smoothly. People did a bit lower on test 2 than test 1, so I added 1 point to everyone's test 2 grades because there were a few questions that many people got wrong. There were a few points that I noticed people struggled with, and I'll elaborate on those in a minute. I did have a few questions about the grading of assignments, and I just wanted you to know that for many of your assignments, Moodle automatically grades things based on a series of answers that I've put in. I've tried to come up with every possible way that someone might answer the questions correctly, but I may have missed some. I always check these manually, so I should catch them, but if there's one you think you got right that's marked wrong, please email me. Also, just a few content notes on the first few chapters. Remember that the construct is generally a one-word answer for what you're studying. So if we look at test 2, short answer, if someone asked what the study was about, you would say something like humor and recovery, and those are the two constructs. The operational definition is how you measure those things in that experiment specifically. So for test 2, they measured humor by having people see a comedian, and measured recovery by having them rate their pain on a scale of 1 to 10. It looks like most of you are getting the big ideas about the independent and dependent variables. Remember that independent variables are those that the experimenter thinks of as the cause and are typically what's manipulated. The dependent variable is the outcome or the effect. You should be able to answer questions about the independent and dependent variable in just one word or phrase. If you give me a whole sentence with too much information, I take off points because you haven't clearly identified the key points. So just copying and pasting portions of the summary is not enough. If we use the extra credit as an example, the Atheist Shoe Company was interested in how the labeling on the outside of a package affects delivery time. They manipulated the labeling by either putting Atheist branded tape or neutral tape and measured delivery time and number of lost packages. Thus, they believed that the packaging caused slow delivery time. So the independent variable that they manipulated would be the tape, and the levels would be atheist and neutral, because those are the two versions of tape. And the dependent variable or outcome would be the time it takes to deliver the package. If you are still not clear on these concepts, please go back and review all of your work for week 1 and let me know if you have questions. These are really important to have a good grasp on because we're going to come back to these concepts when we get to week 3. So take week 2 to make sure you really understand them. Now, if we get to this week, you have your first final project assignment due. All you need to do is look through the final project articles, which are actually located in the top section under final project information. Here are all the articles. You have a lot to choose from. And you just need to take a look at some of them and decide which one you would like to do your final project on. You're welcome to find your own article, but you need to send me a PDF copy along with the citation if you choose this option. Note that part of this assignment requires that you also get an email back from me approving it. So the deadline for this is Friday instead of Sunday so that I have time to respond. And in order to get a response back from me by 10 a.m., you should try to email me by 8 a.m. on Friday morning. So make sure this is one of the first things you do. It should be relatively easy. In the rest of the content this week, we'll cover Chapter 3, which has to do with ethical issues in conducting research. Once you've finished reading the chapter and taken a look at the PowerPoint, I've posted a copy of this Brand article, which looks something like this. Which you'll also need to read. And your assignment for this chapter will be to answer a series of questions based on the reading. And then, as usual, you'll have a test for Chapter 3. And then Chapter 4 covers observational research. It gives us our first introduction into correlations, which we'll return to later in the term as well. I've posted several websites here, so you have your PowerPoint, you have the audio lecture, and then you've got 3 websites that give you more practice in understanding correlations. Please be sure to visit them and make sure you're clear on the concept. For your assignments for this chapter, I'm going to have you actually go out and do some observations in a public space. So don't save this until 10 p.m. on Saturday night. First, you're going to do, and so I have directions in Word, which look like this. So first you'll do qualitative observations. and then you'll do some quantitative observations, and then you'll answer a few questions about your experiences. So the Word document has the directions, and then you'll transfer your responses into Moodle and complete the questions under the Chapter 4 observation assignment. And then, of course, you'll have your test. So have a great week. Make sure to review the stuff from Chapter 1 and make sure you're really clear on it. And as always, contact me if you have any questions.